What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today we've actually got slightly different settings. You probably see I'm at a gym. It's an outside gym. It's TK MMA in Dubai. Some of you probably know that gym. Absolutely insane gym. But before we get some content here today, mix it up a little bit, slightly different backdrop, and yeah, attack a different subject. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about morning routines. Okay, so this is something that comes up a lot. We speak to this all the time with our clients about what they should be doing in the morning, how they can improve their morning routine, what they should be doing, whether they need to be having a strict morning routine. So I wanted to clear that up a little bit as well. It's something that I've dabbled in a lot, tried a lot of different things, kind of decided what I think works, what doesn't work. So hopefully this gives you some kind of value in terms of how you should conduct your day. Now, this is based around having a morning routine in terms of improving performance at the gym, improving, your ability to lose body fat, build muscle, and just generally being a high performing individual, okay? So hopefully this is going to give you a little bit of value in terms of how I would conduct this. Now, I'll start by saying everyone's morning routine is going to be completely different, okay? You don't need to be following something out of like a rule book or something that you've seen on YouTube that someone's told you to do. You need to trial something and you need to kind of see what's going to work for you in your situation, okay? I would just suggest kind of just having like a few things that you do in the morning. You don't want to like stack all these different things and just make it really complicated and just almost like create resistance for you to not get out of bed in the morning. Because trust me, I've done this before. I've tried to get up and I've tried to, meditate. I've tried to read a book. I've tried to go for a walk. I've tried to listen to my podcast. I've tried to stretch, and I've just stacked all these different things, which has just ultimately stopped me from actually going out and getting a task done that I need to get done, and it just creates this kind of barrier to getting out of bed in the morning sometimes, which is not what we want to do. So you want to trial a few things. You want to really sit down and think like, what do I want to get out of the morning? And essentially just don't try and overcomplicate it. Now, the biggest problems that most people have, and the reason why I do think it's important to have some sort of morning routine and some sort of structure, is most people are very reactive in the morning and they don't actually plan what they want to get done. And they just end up getting up late, bouncing off the walls with no real organization. And this isn't how we should go about our day. Okay, you need to do something in the morning that's going to fill your cup. Fill your cup before you start providing with other people. And there might be a lot of dads listen to this, a lot of mums listen to this, they've got kids to tend to in the morning and it's busy, getting them ready for school, trying to get yourself ready for work, and it's very stressful. So I do believe that getting up early and putting some sort of structure in place, even if it's just half an hour of just you time, is super important. Otherwise, you end up being very reactive instead of proactive, and you just don't get what you need to get done. And if you create a lot of stress in the morning, then ultimately that's going to stay with you for the rest of the day. And it really does come down to it sometimes that if you win your morning, you're probably going to win your day. If you lose your morning, well, look, you're probably going to lose your day as well and just not get as much done and not be that high performing individual that you need to be. So creating a morning routine is important. So anyway, let's get into some of the things that I would recommend that you should look at bringing into your morning routine to help you feel better, feel more productive, get more done, and actually achieve your goals. Okay, so firstly, you don't have to get up super early. You don't have to get up at 5 a.m. Some of our clients are getting up at 4:30 a.m. Fair play to them, they want to get to the gym before they go to work for the day, and they don't have to do it after. But that isn't what you have to do. Now, I actually tried to get up at 5 a.m. for quite a long time, and I struggled. After a while, it just wasn't working for me personally. Even if I was going to bed a little bit earlier, it was just a little bit too early. So for me, just making a simple shift in terms of going from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. works really well, because it means that I can be in bed by around 11 o'clock and I can still get enough sleep, around sort of 7 to 7.5 hours if I'm in bed a little bit earlier. And I can get enough sleep, which is going to actually cause me to recover well and feel better the next day. So just pick a time that you can stick to. And now I wouldn't recommend you have a massive lie-in, especially in the week. I would try and get up at a reasonable time, but it doesn't have to be super early. You can just go for a time that kind of suits you as a person. Now, here is one of the most important tips that I want you to take away from this video. When your alarm goes off, you get out of bed. You don't even think about it. You don't negotiate with yourself. You don't have this few seconds of lying in, even if it feels a bit more comfortable, because the second you do that, you are massively dropping the chance of you getting out of bed. You will potentially lie there and just lie through your alarm, or you'll hit snooze and you won't get out of bed. And I say this because I've done this, and I've done this a lot of times recently as well, when my routine's just been a little bit out of whack coming back to Dubai and just trying to get back into a good circadian rhythm again, which has been a little bit of a struggle. And I'm actually at the point now, it's still how I have 3 alarm clocks by my bed in the morning. Okay, I have my phone, I have my Alexa, and I also bought an old school alarm clock which just rattled at 6 in the morning. So there is no way that I'm not getting out of bed now, because sometimes even when you have the best intentions, you just end up wanting to lie there for a little bit longer. You negotiate with yourself, you sleep through your alarm, you just end up feeling crap. So the absolute golden rule, when that alarm goes off, you get out of bed. You don't think, you don't negotiate, you jump out of bed and you will feel so much better. So here are some of the things that I'd recommend that you do. Okay, so firstly, everyone needs to be doing this, and this is hydrating. You have to hydrate first thing in the morning, otherwise you're going to feel absolutely terrible. Now, overnight, your body is going to lose a lot of water. Okay, if you live in a country like Dubai, where I live, you lose even more water. Okay, so you have to replace that first thing. This is going to give you loads of energy. It's going to create fullness. It's just going to make you feel so much better. So you have to get at least, I say, a liter of water, and maybe half a liter. A pint is still okay if you don't live in Dubai like myself. And you also want to get some electrolytes on board. Okay, so we again lose a lot of salt. We use a lot of sodium overnight. Okay, because our body's essentially sweating and we're just not going to be hydrated. So we need to go for some kind of electrolyte. And if you want to be, super natural, and essentially just go for some pink Himalayan salt and just put some lemon in your cup as well. And you're going to get a nice mix of the salt, and then you're going to get some kind of acidity as well from the lemon, which is going to just help, again, like make you feel a little bit better and help your kind of body balance out a little bit from a sodium perspective, making you feel more hydrated and just giving you more energy. Now, I personally just use electrolyte tablets. I use the SIS ones, which come out here, the slightly different ones that I use. But these are just going to put 1 gram of sodium straight back in my body in the morning, and it's just going to make me feel so much better. So this is a non-negotiable. There is no one really that shouldn't be doing this first thing in the morning, regardless of what your routine is like. Secondly, you want to plan out what you need to get done for the day. You want to make sure that you have the checklist of what needs to happen. Now, if you want to go one up on this, which is personally what I do, this is probably something you want to do the night before. But if you forget or it just doesn't work for you, you end up finishing work and you don't want to do that, that's fine. But the first thing that you need to do in the morning, plan out what do you want to happen that day, okay? What is the goal? What's the objective? What are the 3 to 5 things that you need to get done that day? And that might even just be going to the gym or going to get your steps in or prepping your meals. Like, it doesn't have to be anything too extreme or extravagant, but if you've actually written something down, much more chance that you're actually going to get it done. This has been proven as well by numerous studies. Other things that you might want to do, you might want to go and do some sort of movement, okay? Go for a walk, go to the gym. Like, a lot of people go to the gym first thing in the morning. Probably one of the best things you can do. I think a lot of high performing individuals will go and train first thing in the morning because, after they finish their job, they just might negotiate with themselves. They don't know what's going to happen during the daytime, and it just sets you for the day. So training first thing in the morning, I'm a massive advocate of that. However, if that's not what you do, even just going for a walk and doing some sort of exercise is something that can be really effective first thing in the morning, okay? Listen to a podcast, educate your mind, and just do something that's going to, again, feed your brain. Now, I've actually pushed my first bout of activity back a little bit because I find now that, I just want to get out of bed and get to work. That's me. It's like, for me, it's like for my business, kind of suits my goals because I know that there's kind of work and things that I need to get done first thing in the morning. However, for some of you guys, if you work in more of a 9 to 5 job, I would absolutely go out and go for a walk first thing in the morning and listen to a podcast. For me personally now, I normally wait till about 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock until I've done my first big block of work, and then I go for a walk around the marina. And that works really well for me in terms of just getting something done first, getting the heavy lifting work done first before I can then go out and do some exercise. Other things that you might want to start doing would be something like reading a book. Okay, again, that we want to feed our mind, feed our body with something that's going to help us achieve or learn a new skill or learn more, be more interesting as a person. So if you actually start reading, you're going to absorb so much more knowledge. And reading first thing in the morning is, again, it's a really good way to set you for your day. And it just helps you, again, not put this task off, because we all know we go to read before bed, we end up watching too much Netflix, and guess what? We don't actually end up doing anything. So sometimes it just works well to just read in the morning, educate your mind, and feel better for the day. Now, again, full transparency, this is actually not something I'm doing at the moment because I sometimes found that when I was going into reading a book, I was still like a little bit tired. I kind of would end up wanting to go back to sleep. Again, that was just me personally. And again, I felt like it was kind of taken away from me just getting on with work. So, I push reading now more to the weekends, or I just push it to later on in the day, where I feel a little bit more relaxed, and I'll go and read a chapter of a book. But it's definitely something that I've done previously, which has worked. The other thing that I think works really well, which again isn't going to be for everyone, but it is doing some kind of like meditation or, some kind of yoga or stretching, because I actually think this is so effective. And this is something that I didn't do for years, and I thought it was this woo-woo weird thing that I would, never really get into. I never understood people that meditate. I thought it was strange, being completely honest. However, since actually trying it from listening to a few videos on YouTube, I kind of decided it was actually pretty cool. And I felt really good. I felt really calm. I felt really focused. It just helped me stay a lot more kind of, at one with myself in terms of the way that I think, and especially my productivity and my focus as well. So, stress levels started to drop a little bit. So I definitely would recommend giving it a try. You don't need to meditate for, hours. I know some people do that, which maybe it works for them. However, I literally now just stick on like a 10-minute meditation on YouTube, and I'll just literally go and listen to that and just follow that, and it just helps me really think and clear my mind, especially if things start to get a little bit stressful, which inevitably they always do. So meditating is great. Stretching is also great as well. Again, I need to get better at this, especially having obviously got an injury. Still, I need to make sure that I'm stretching more and doing it. And I think in the morning, again, it's a fantastic thing to do. Going and doing some sort of, stretching workout can be really effective. I normally do this if I've gone for a run in the morning, which is something that at the moment I'm doing twice per week. I run on a Wednesday 5K, and then Saturday I run on a 10K, which again, I feel incredible after I've done that. Doing something hard first thing in the morning, whether that's a cold shower, whether that's a workout, going for a run. Again, like, you feel amazing. You're starting off your day on something that's difficult, which means the rest of the day is naturally going to be a little bit easier. So I 100% recommend you do that now. Now, I used to do the cold showers, but it's difficult in Dubai. Stuff's just not really cold out here. Like, it's hard to do that. You can also get ice baths and things like that, but it's a little bit more challenging to do it. However, that again, for some people could work pretty well. I wouldn't say it's this amazing thing that's going to help you lose fat and feel better and have more energy. That's bullshit. However, if we do something like that, it is about challenging ourselves, doing something, you really don't want to do first thing in the morning. You're going to feel a lot better. Now, I remember when I used to live back on the south coast, and I used to live by the sea, very cold. I was doing a dip every single morning for a really, really long time, and I was just getting out of bed and I was just going straight to the sea, and I was getting in the sea, and it was just like real uplifting, incredible feeling, like getting in the cold water, getting out, getting home, and then starting my day. And that worked really, really well. I guess if the sea was a little bit colder here, then that might be something that I would consider doing, again, like living kind of near the sea, but something like that can work really well as well, challenging myself first thing in the morning. Now, last couple of things, I would massively recommend come away from your phone. Okay, or at least you come away from certain apps on your phone: Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, like whatever it is that you use where you just start scrolling. Come away from these in the morning, because you don't want to get kind of into this like cycle of looking at things and this like quick dopamine hits, being glued to your phone first thing in the morning. Your morning routine, what you do first thing, this is where you're at your most productive. This has been shown in studies. We think the best, we have the most amount of cognitive function and mental focus in the morning. So if we go and look at our phone and start searching through cat videos on WhatsApp and getting back to our friends or our clients or whatever it is, we're just essentially zapping our energy, which is what we don't want to do. So I now have 2 phones. So I use a phone that doesn't have anything on it in the morning. And what I've also started to do now is I've actually blocked a lot of my apps until 12 o'clock. Okay. So I have an app called Opal on my phone, which essentially just means that it will block apps until I decide that I want to open them. So things like WhatsApp, things like Instagram, things like Messenger for Facebook, business WhatsApp, everything like that blocked. Okay, it's blocked till 12 o'clock. So for 12 o'clock for me, that's 8 o'clock in the UK time. So, I don't need to get back to anyone until around that time anyway, because, people are out of bed. Unless maybe I'm doing check-ins, that's a little bit different. But coming away from your phone, it's like one of the most important things that we do in the morning. And the last thing that I'll say, just to kind of end this video on, essentially, is you want to have a high protein breakfast. If you're going to have a high protein breakfast, if you're going to eat first thing in the morning, and that's what you've always done, a habit that you should do is eat something that's high in protein. Now, I'm not making this video too much of a nutritional based video, got tons of videos to talk through that, which you can go and watch. But one thing I would say is if you have really high carb or high sugary breakfast like toast and jam, or, a big bowl of cereal like Cocoa Pops, this is one of the worst things you can do to start your day. But it's not going to fill you up. It's going to set your blood sugar off massively, so that within like an hour, you're going to be absolutely starving. You're going to be at work. You're going to have no energy. You're going to slump. And this is why when Janet comes around and brings the biscuits in to everyone in the office, you're the first one to go and grab it, because you've not filled your body up properly. And it's a terrible thing you need to see to start your day. So if we're going to have something first thing in the morning, if you don't want to fast, which again is actually quite an effective thing to do, you could have a black coffee instead in the morning and kind of do that after the first couple of hours have gone. You would go for something that's high in protein. So this is going to be like your Greek yogurt. This is going to be something like eggs. Now, go and watch one of my recent videos where I gave you 5 of my biggest breakfast ideas for fat loss, for eating in the morning. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video useful. As I said at the start, I want you to realize that your morning routine is simply about you. You need to try and do things. You need to try and error things and then see what works, and then maybe switch things up if you need to, okay? This isn't something you're just going to get from day one. I have changed my morning routine up so many times in the last 2 years. As my life's changed, I've moved to different places, I've traveled, I'm in different environments, always had to change my morning routine. I've trialed something, realized it's not working, I'm self-aware, and I change it. This is the absolute key when it comes to your morning routine. generally it's going to take at least 28 days to really form a habit. Okay, so for the first 4 weeks, it's going to feel a little bit shit. You might feel a bit tired, you might feel a bit laggy, you might not want to get up early, you might not want to go and train. But you have to fight through that first initial month, because after that, it just starts to feel a lot more natural, you know, and you just naturally do end up getting up and doing the right things. And this lifestyle is what creates long-term results. Okay, we need to be doing something, we need to be creating a lifestyle, the right habits, and thinking differently if we want to stay in shape and feel great for the rest of our lives. So I hope you find this video useful. Craft out your morning routine. Drop a comment below if you've got any questions or anything that you want to see more of on this channel. And guys, I'm going to catch you in the next video.